Hello again, Year 5, and welcome to our maths lesson today. Today we're going to be focusing on rounding to the nearest 10, 100 and 1000. So there are four things that we need to look at here. So first things first, we need to look at the column that we are rounding. So we're rounding to the nearest 10. We need to look at a tens column. We need to look to the right of that column. So we're in a tens, we need to look at the ones. Then we need to see if it's 1, 2, 3, or 4. If it is, it needs to round down. If it's 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, it needs to round up. So we're going to have a little practice. So try and make sure you've got a piece of paper and a pencil in front of you so you can work as we go along. Right, so we're going to start off by doing this. So start off by rounding to the nearest 10. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to identify my column. So I'm going to go, right, there's my tens. In my tens, I've got an 8. And then I'm going to look to the right-hand column, which is a 3. I go, right, so I follow that rule, where if it is, I'll try and draw it here, 1, 2, 3, or 4, you round down. And if it's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 8 or 9, you round up. So that is the rule that we need to follow. So look at 8. We're looking next door at our 3. Our number 3 says to round down. So that 8 stays as it is, and that 3 rounds down to 0. And then the 4 doesn't change, and neither does the thousands column. So we have got 7,480. What I want you to try and do, with a piece of paper in front of you, try and have a go at the next 5, and I will go through them. So pause it and have a crack at these 5. Right, okay, so let's have a look, shall we? So I'm going to identify my tens, which is there. I'm going to look next door. So I've got an 8, which means I need to round up. So the 8 becomes a 9, and that 8 there, the 1s becomes a placeholder. So I've got 3, and I've got 6. So I've got 6,390. Again, here, there's my tens. I'll look next door. I've got a 4, so I round it down. So I got 0. The 7 stayed as it is because I rounded down. I got a 3. Then I've got a 9. Right, so next one, I've got a 7 this time in my tens. I'll look next door in my 8s, and I go, right, so there's an 8, so I need to round up. So that 7 becomes an 8. My 1s becomes a 0. My 4 doesn't change because to the left of the column we don't change it; it's unaffected. So then I've got a 3 there, so I've got 3,480. So here I've got my tens, my 3. I'll look next door at my 1. 1 is a round down, so that is a 0. My 3 doesn't change. My 8 doesn't change. And neither does my 9. So I've got 9,830. Right. So this one, I've got a 6 in my tens. I'll look next door. I've got a 2. So I'll look at my 2. The 2 rounds down. So my 6 doesn't change, and my 2 changes to a 0. And then my hundreds and my thousands don't change. So I've got 3,760. Well done if you've got that. If you didn't, go back and listen to my explanation again. Right, we're going to move on to the nearest 100 this time. So, because I'm on to the nearest 100, I need to look at a different column. So, I'm going to look at my hundreds column. My hundreds column is there. So, I've got a 7, and the rule is exactly the same. I'm going to try and do it without. So, I've got a 7. I'll look next door at my 3. And 3, you round it down. So that means this time I've got 2 columns I need to look at. I need to change the 0 to placeholders now. So in my 9, I round down. So the 9 becomes a 0, 3 becomes a 0, and the 7 does not change. Neither does the 1, and neither does the 2. So I got 21,700. Because I'm rounding near as 100, I'm going to have 2 placeholders at the end of my number. That's the very important thing to remember there. I'm rounding to the nearest 100, so the 1s and the 10s will always be placeholders. Right, so these next 5 I want you to have a little go at. So pause this video and I will go through them when you unpause the video. Right, okay, let's have a look. So we've got 3. We look next door at our 7. 7 we round up. So this is where the 3 now round up. So the 3 become a 4, and the 7 and the 2 become zeros or placeholders. The thousands don't change, and neither do the 10,000. So I've got 72,400. This one, I'll look at my 4. I'll look next door at my 2. So again, I'm running down, so my 4 does not change. My 10s and my 1s all become placeholders, and my 10,000 and my thousands do not change. So I've got 55,400. Right, okay. Next one, I've got 8 in my hundreds. I'll look next door. I've got 8 in my 10s as well. So now with the 8 and the 10s, I need to round up. So this 8 in my hundreds column will become 9. And my 10s and my 1s will become placeholders. Then I've got my 5 and my 3. So I've got 35,900. Right, so again, here I've got a 3 in my hundreds. I'll look next door, I got 8, so I need to round up. My hundreds will then become a 4. My 10s and my 1s become placeholders, and my thousands and 10,000s do not change, so I've got 93,400. And then last one, I've got 8 and I've got 1. So that means I'm going to round down. So then I've got 8, I've got my 10s and my 1s as placeholders. I've got 7 in my thousands, and I've got 6 in my 10,000. So I've got 67,800. Right, so well done if you got those correct. So now I'm going to go one column bigger. I'm going to look at my thousands. So again, I need to identify the correct column. So I'm going to look at my thousands. I'm going to look next door at my hundreds. I know from the 2, I'm going to round down. So the 3 stays the same. And now because I've got 1,000, my hundreds, 10s, and 1s will always be placeholders. So I've got a 0 in my hundreds, a 0 in my 10s, and a 0 in my 1s. Then I've got 73,000 there, like that. Right, so again, I want you to try and have a go at the next 5 by yourself. I will go through them when you unpause the video. Right, okay, so I underline 7, that's my thousands column. I'll look next door, I've got an 8, so the 7 rounds up to 8. And my hundreds, 10s, and 1s will be placeholders, like so. And my 10,000s will be a 3, 38,000. Again, I'll look at my thousands here, I've got a 7, then I've got an 8. Because it's an 8, my thousands column will round up to 8, and my hundreds, 10s, and 1s will all be 0, and my 10,000s will not change, like so. Here I've got a 3, and next door I've got a 2, which means I'm going to round down. So my 3 does not change, and then I've got placeholders in my hundreds, 10s, and 1s. And then I've got an 8 in my 10,000s. And again, I'll look at my thousands, I'll look next door, I've got a 2, so the 7's going to be the same. I've got my hundreds as a placeholder, my 10s as a placeholder, and my 1s as a placeholder, and then I've got 2 in my 10,000s. So I got 27,000 there. So again, I'll look at this one, I've got a 2 in my thousands. I'll look next door, I've got a 6, so my 2 is going to go up. So that means my 2 is going to become a 3, and my hundreds, tens, and ones will be placeholders, and I got an 8 in my 10,000s column. So that is that. Again, if you're struggling with anything, feel free to go back in the video and watch some bits again. By now, we're going to move on to this one. So this time, we're going to round these numbers to the nearest 10, 100, and 1,000. So for each one, we need 3 answers. So first one I'm going to do is the top one. I'm going to do nearest 10. So I know well, I've got my tens column. I've got a 6. Next door, I've got 4. So I know it's going to round down. So then, so I know it's going to, so I've got 57,000. I know it's going to round down, so I've got 360. Right, so the next one, I'm going to look at the hundreds. I've got a 3 and I've got a 6, which means I know I'm going to round up. So my 3 will become a 4. So I've got 57,400, like so. And again, my nearest 1,000, I've got 1,000, so look at my thousands. I look next door, I've got a 3, so now it's going to round down. So I've got that 7 will be the same, so I've got 57,000, 000, or placeholder. Right, so there are my 3 answers for that. What you do is pause the video and then have a go at the next 5 on your own. I will go through the answers very quickly with you all. Right, okay, let's take a look. So first one, I know it's going to, I'll look at my tens, I know it's going to round up because I've got an 8 next door, so I know it's going to be 28,350. My next one, I know I've got, look at my hundreds now, I've got 3 in my hundreds, I've got 4 next door, so I know it's going to round down to 28,300. And again, I look at my thousands now, I've got an 8 there, I've got a 3 next door, so now that's going to round down to 28,000. Well done if you got those right. And now 54,362. I look at my tens, I got a 6, I look next door, I got a 2, so I know it's going to round down, 54,360. I look at my column again, I'm on my hundreds now, I've got 3 in my hundreds, and I've got 6 in my tens, so I know it's going to round up. I've got 54,400. My last one, I've got 4 of my thousands. At next door, I've got a 3, so now it's going to round down to 54,000. Like so. I'm going to move those up so I've got a bit more room. I think I might need it. Go. So I've got a bit more room so I can get it all on the screen. And so you lot can see it because that'll be helpful. Right. Okay. Here I got a 6 in my tens. I got an 8 in my ones, which means I'm going to round up, which means I got 78,870. I got an 8 in my hundreds, I got a 6 in my tens, so I'm going to round up again, which means I've got 78,900. And again, I've got an 8 in my thousands and an 8 in my hundreds, which means I'm going to round up again, which means I've got 79,000. All right, okay. So this time I got 31,769. I got a 6 in the tens. Although I saw I got a 9 in my one, so now it's going to be 31,770. My next one is going to be my hundreds and my tens. So I got a 7 in my hundreds. I got a 6 in my tens, so now it's going to be 31,700. That will run then. Oh, I put a 32. It should be 31. I do apologize, yeah, 5. Right. Okay, I've got a 1 in my hundreds. I got 1 in my thousands, and then I've got a 7 in my hundreds, so I should have 32,000. Right, so the last one I'm going to do very quickly. I'm going to do it as I do it. So I've got 54,680. And I will have, let's see if you got this right, 54,700. Well done if you said that. And the last one is I've got 55. Good. 55,000. Well done. Right. Okay. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen because it's the last bit. Yep. Then I am going to share with you what the worksheet looks like, because I realise you can't see it, but now you can. So this is what the worksheet will look like. So as you can see, you've got the nearest 10, nearest 100, nearest 1,000, and then below you've got the nearest 10, 100, and 1,000. So let's see if you can have a go at that by yourselves, and I look forward to getting some work from you all. Thank you very much, and I hope you have a lovely day. Goodbye.